how to build a waterfall with cement, head on over to Home Depot and get your supplies. Well, after you got your supplies, it's time to have some fun. 1x2s, 2x4s, other mixed wood. Get your wood screws and start assembling. It will come together as you go. You don't need to have an exact image right away. Just keep working. Don't give up. As you can see, the wood frame starts to assemble. You want to make sure that you have your waterfall tiers. At the top, you can see where the top of the PVC is the top tier.
Imagine with me, if you will, that monstrosity of a contraption into a beautiful rock-like waterfall. Think of this fake rock here that covers this electric box. It's just a covering, but it's structurally sound. The idea is to take this chicken wire and cover it now that the frame is there and give it the shape all the way down. That's where the water will go in, up, and then give it the bowl for the waterfall to the tier 2 to tier 3 to overflow. If you can imagine this, then you have as great of an imagination as I do.
Well, as you can see, the project's really coming along. The wood frame is really starting to take shape, and I'm almost ready to add the chicken mesh or the chicken wire. You want to make sure the top tier of the waterfall is nice and level. That way the water flows the way it should and down. You start to add your chicken wire to give it shape. This is how Disney World makes mountains. They also use some foam, but for the most part it's wood frame and chicken wire, fine chicken wire, and you tack it onto the wood frame and you keep working around. Mind you, you'll want gloves for this part because it can get sharp and you don't want to cut yourself up. But if you do, it's all good. Now, the LED lights will help really dress up the waterfall at the end. The concrete that you use, you want something that's rapid setting, but keep in mind, concrete tends to have some rock in it, and you may want mortar. Mortar might work best, and that's what I ended up using later on. Concrete's good for the foundation, however. Waterfall's really starting to take shape here. You can see the mesh. The koi are happy. Now I'm starting to dip weed barrier cloth into the cement and slathering it onto the mesh. At this point, some people might be imagining what it will look like in the end. This is fun but messy, so make sure you're wearing appropriate clothes for the task. Keep adding mortar and cement. Mortar is great because when it starts to cure, you can apply it vertically and it's not going to fall off. The red and green lines are areas that I was going to add some details with some cement to kind of give it shape like a rock. I added cement texture to give it a rock-like shape, and then I added areas for plants to also grow, as you can tell. Later on, there will be some ferns growing on because it just seems natural that ferns would grow on a waterfall. Here are the ferns. What do you think? Well, I thought adding some river rock would make it even more natural. I understand that this isn't for everybody and it doesn't 100% look natural, but it's beautiful and has a great sound. Just listen. Now, some of you might have noticed the water splashing onto the base, and that's not exactly ideal. I initially designed it that way and thought that that's what I would want with the sound, but some water does splash out, and I want to try and contain as much into the pond as possible. So I'm going to end up extending the lip of the spillway until I'm happy with the water hitting the pond, so to speak. Oh, yes, one more thing. Once the cement is done, it'll be dry and white, and you'll want to add your cement sealant or cement stain, and that way you can get a realistic kind of appearance. Here you can see the extension lip. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.